Hi, my name is Luca Bartolini. I'm the section editor for Neurology Clinical Practice for a new section, Practice Current. And I'm here today to talk about this section. How many times have you asked yourself, what is the evidence behind the clinical decision that you're making? Am I doing this treatment just because it's the best option that I have in my hospital? Or is it because it's supported by the best evidence available? I'm sure you've asked yourself this question many times in your practice. And for sure I have, as a child neurologist, at least once per week in my practice. And there are several questions that come to mind from common diseases such as headache. For example, what is your treatment approach to status migrainosus? And then there are rare disease such as anti-NMDA receptor encephalitis. And this is in fact the topic that we chose for our first survey, and I'll get to that in a second. So these questions and many others prompted me to develop Practice Current over the course of the past year. And what we do with Practice Current is we find a topic that is relevant to clinical practice, and then we ask an expert to comment on a clinical question, such as how do you treat anti-NMDA receptor encephalitis? Then what we do is we create a survey. We put it online on the Neurology Clinical Practice website, and we ask the readers to participate in the survey from all over the world. In fact, for the first survey, and I'm going to show you how it works in a second, we got more than 350 responses from more than 60 countries. So there is a broad readership and a broad exposure to these surveys. And let me show you how it works. What you will see in this video is the current survey, which is on the diagnostic workup of cryptogenic stroke. This is the Neurology Clinical Practice website. As you can see, if you click on Take Survey, you will be redirected to the survey homepage. This is just an introduction, but if you click Next, you will be brought to the clinical questions that we have. Usually we have 3 clinical questions, multiple choice, as you can see, that are followed by demographic data that you have to answer on the first page. If you click Next, you will be brought to the second page, which is all demographic data. If you don't have time, you don't have to take the second page, but I strongly encourage you to do so because it takes less than 3 minutes to complete. One of the novel aspects of this project is the way we present results. And I want to show you a video of this. This is novel, and we developed it for Practice Current. In this video, and this is just a video, but if you go online, you can actually play around with the globe, zoom in, zoom out, and take a look around. So what you see is a representation of the results through pie charts that correspond to what people do. For example, within the United States, you have each state that is represented by a separate pie chart. But when you look at other countries, you will see pie charts for each country. So if you're interested in what they do, I don't know, in Spain, for example, you can filter the results by that. And on the top right, you see what you're looking at right now, so the first line treatment. And in a second, we'll see what people do for second line treatment. This is just to give you an idea of how powerful this way of showing the results is. If you want, you can also look at the results in a more classic way. And this video shows you how to do it. Again, on the clinical practice website, there's a link to find out more on Practice Current, and you will be redirected to the mini-site homepage. If you scroll down, you can see the link to real-time results. And that will bring you to a page where you can actually see the classic pie charts, how many responses you've had so far, and you can, again, play around with the results and filter them as you like. So what is the impact of this project? Well, I think it's very important to compare your practice with what other people do. And especially nowadays, it's very interesting to see if what you do is in line with what other states do within the United States, for example, or even other countries such as South America or Europe. And many neurologists expressed a great interest in seeing also what people do based on the level of training they have. And this is something you can do by filtering the results. For the future of this section, I believe we will continue to present the current format, which again consists in presenting a survey, and then the surveys are accompanied by an article that is published in Neurology Clinical Practice every other issue and also online. And in the article, you will find a background on the disease, and you will find a background on the current level of evidence about that disease. You will see the expert's opinion in the form of the interview, and then an editorial comment on the preliminary poll results and the expert opinion. So this format will be accompanied by a clinical case starting from the next topic, so that the readers and the experts will be guided a little bit more on the topic, because sometimes it's hard to respond to a clinical question that may be very broad. And so we decided that we want to start a clinical case that is associated with the surveys, and you will see it in the upcoming topics. What I also see for this section is an online-only part that will be parallel to this. And for example, there are several clinical questions that are not really broad. For sure, they're very interesting, and there are many experts that wonder what other people do around the world. And I have an example for you. Do you routinely recommend thymectomy for acetylcholine-positive adult patients with myasthenia gravis? So this is clearly a yes or no question. So you don't need a full expert interview to have an opinion. So what we want to do is collect these kind of questions from the readers, and you know, any neurology enthusiast around the world can actually send us a tip or a question, and we'll be happy to consider it for publication. Then what we'll do, we'll put it online, and we'll start the survey, so that when we have enough responses, we'll send the link to an expert in the field, or more than one expert, and we'll see what he thinks of it. So you will be able to see the results on the word map, the interactive word map that I see as a Google Earth for neurology, and at the same time you will be able to see an expert's opinion next to it. So I think that practice current fits really well in a modern concept of medicine without borders. Nowadays, our network is not just our immediate colleagues, because because of new technologies, social media, we are able to reach not just, again, our colleagues, but other states, other countries, and even other continents. So I really look forward to your participation and feedback. Please take the survey. You can do it with your cell phone, and soon we will have an implementation with the application for the iPad and Android. Thank you.